Best Buy has everything you need to get started in photography, whether as a hobby, starting your own business, or simply to document your own priceless memories. Best Buy has some of the most popular DSLRs on the market. Don't forget the accessories either. They have a wide assortment of camera bags, memory cards, and other items to get you shooting. Their trained and certified personnel will ensure you get the most value in your purchase. And don't forget to watch Shutter Wars, where you might learn a thing or two about getting the most out of your DSLR. Thanks for watching. The final photo challenge and themes were announced, leaving some a little nervous.
Tomorrow, you're going to be shooting children.
This photo challenge determines the winner of Shutter Wars.
We do need to be constantly aware that there's a whole new generation of photographers right behind us.
We need to be as hungry for it 20 years in as we were first year in.
Hi, and welcome back to Shutter Wars. Today, your photo challenge is going to be shooting children. And we're going to ask that you get two themes, one of innocence and one that is disturbed. And you can interpret those themes however you like, but you only have 30 minutes to get both of those themes from the children. So just keep in mind that even though you have 30 minutes for your session, the child's attention span might be even shorter.
We'd like to thank Haley, Harper, Evelyn, Ravi, Milani, and Aiden and their parents for participating in Shutter Wars. Here's the final photo challenge again. Each photographer will have 30 minutes with their child model. They must produce one innocence-themed photo and one disturbed-themed photo. It is up to the interpretation of the photographer. They'll have one night to edit and post-process their images for Judgment Day. Let's join them as they meet their child models for the first time. Ivory, you have Robin.
Pretty good for you.
2 minutes.
Yeah, you're looking at the older kid, not this.
Now that everyone's acquainted, let's get this photo challenge started.
You want to come take some pictures, Harper? You want to take some pictures?
Jessica is in her element, maximizing the natural light available through the large studio windows.
Do you think it helps being a mom?
I think it does, definitely. It kind of puts you in that mind frame of, brings you down. Where are we going? Look, I thought there was a doggy out there. Doggy. You want to see doggy? Let's look. It's really different because every child's different. Every personality is different. She's very easygoing, very fun, very sweet personality. She's very caring. She wants to give the baby her lollipop, wants to give the baby kisses. So I don't know, I guess, each child is different. You just kind of have to adjust your personality to fit that at the moment. And she's been a blast. This is the most fun I've had all week. I brought lollipops and I brought a baby doll and a puppy and like a puppet, which is right here, Wrinkles. I have had Wrinkles since I was 3 and it always worked on me.
If you were going to tell a photographer trying to take photos of a little one, what would be the #1 advice?
Smile a lot. Not creepy way, but just, get down on their level, have fun, laugh. Don't be afraid to, act like a child yourself, because that's what they're going to relate to. It can't be about the camera. It can't be about anything but the moment of, what they're doing. If they want to go off for a minute and walk and find mommy, or they want to run around in circles, you have to just sit back and act like that's what you want them to do at the moment. Yes, let's run around. That would be so awesome. You know what I mean? And we did that. We had to for a few minutes upstairs because it does get monotonous. Sit, look. I'm not about scripting or, telling kids what to do. I don't like posing kids. I just like to be there and hope that I'm fast enough to catch what I need to. And more times than not you do. They completely surprise you every time.
Let's join Catherine now as she works on setting the stage for today's themes of innocence and disturbed with little Milani.
Today our challenge was to photograph children. The themes were innocence and disturbed. And I think it went overall pretty well. I had a very young child. which I'm comfortable with because I have, you know, a niece who's around her same age, and I'm pretty familiar with the way they act. So I used a Canon 50D today. I used both my 50mm 1.8, and I also used a 24-70 f2.8. I always shoot in manual. It gives you more control. It is very scary at first to start off completely in manual, but for my purposes, I learned much faster that way. You have control over f-stops, you have control over shutter speed, you have control over the ISO, and it's just, you know, in my opinion, it's better to just start off learning manual. And as far as having multiple lenses, there's different situations for everything. You know, the zoom lens is great, especially when they're young because they're moving around a lot, and you're not going to always be able to run back and forth with a fixed lens. So,
despite any reservations about photographing children, Ivory's brought some toys and treats to keep the energy levels up in Ravi's photo shoot.
I was a little bit nervous because shooting with the kids, which is something that I just never do well. But I think it went well. I think the fact that we had a little bit of time to come up with our concepts, I think that was good because I needed extra time, and I think that kind of helped. The one technical challenge is, especially with kids like to move around, so lighting, which is really important to me, was something that I had to really pay attention to as far as how I was going to light the kid, because if they move, sometimes you can lose light on on a particular side of their face or something like that. So I actually ended up going with one light, kind of like I did in yesterday's challenge, for one of my shots, which was the ring flash again, because as I moved, it moved, kind of thing. So because it's attached to my camera.
Looks like Ivory's conceptual photos are taking shape on the wings of an angel. Now time to see how our veteran photographer executes this challenge. Jack Fleming.
The photo challenge today was a 30-minute time period, and the first look had a theme of innocence, and the second one was disturbed. I have two cameras, a D200 and a D300. I felt like my D300 had better color values. It's a later camera. Technology is a little bit better. It shoots faster, especially in low light. And one of my images had more of a low light element to it. And then I shot with a Nikon 24-70 2.8 zoom lens. The first image with innocence was on the white cyclorama. I wanted very general, bright lighting for that. Kids moving around a lot, the balls were moving around a lot. I wanted very vivid color and so forth. So went with full lighting. There was nothing advanced about that lighting at all. In the other photo, the disturbed photo, I used a strobe light, single strobe light with what's called a snoot on it, and that's like a cone-shaped attachment that goes over the flash head. More muted, but more of a spotlight, and directs the light right on your subject in kind of a hazy circle area of light. And I did that to give more of a contrast or more of a vivid, harsh lighting to that disturbed theme that I was going for.
Very nice, very good.
I organize all my images in a program called Photo Mechanic. It's very common with sports photographers and in the media and so forth to organize everything, pull things quick. I do use Lightroom occasionally as well, but I think in determining my two final prints, I'll just stick to Photoshop. Basically, I've got a puppet of this little monster guy, a little dinosaur-looking guy hatching out of an egg, and I thought maybe it would be a little creepy for him and everything. And I'm kind of trying to make this look kind of like a creepy, scary place. Right into the camera. This is called a pocket wizard, and basically it is a remote wireless transmitter, and I have one exactly like it that's on one of the strobes that I was using. And if I'm using two strobes, one works as a slave, so they both pop simultaneously. And basically, it just sits on my hot shoe, and the signal goes through that wirelessly to the strobe, and the strobes flash. That way I'm not tripping over cables.
See Crystal and Marcus in action in Webisode 3, Part 2 of Shutter Wars.